The story of FNaF Plush, well, FNaF Toys, that's what the series was initially called, begins with the main three band members, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, talking about how successful they were in killing the Night Guard. And they're excited to target their next victim. We meet Zippy, who was a guy in a hazmat suit rather than a fox, just spending his time watching TV. His friends enter the living room, letting him know that there's this place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, who have a history of disappearing night guards. His friends ask him if he wants to work at the job, and the brave Zippy says yes, out of curiosity, and he wants to investigate the place. The night shift begins. However, Zippy has to go through several obstacles. Not only does he have to survive against killer animatronics, but he also has to be careful of how much power he uses in his office. Thankfully, Zippy gets away, but Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica couldn't accept their loss. They feel like they need more people to help hunt down Zippy. The Fazbears meet up with two other animatronics, Foxy and Golden Freddy. Eventually, the animatronics find Zippy. However, he's wearing an Iron Man-esque suit. Yeah, it's totally FNaF. It's totally accurate to the games. Anyways, the situation is difficult for both sides. Zippy runs off and meets up with his friends. The animatronics were still on his tail, and the fight continues. Eventually, both sides get tired, so Zippy and the Fazbears make a truce.
Alright, stop fighting me! What?
After the fight, they get a message from an organization known as Nightmare Central.
Hey, I see a little message. Wait, you? Get all animals, Nightmare Central.
Nightmare wants to create an animatronic empire and take over the world. After hearing this message, Zippy and his friends decide to investigate Nightmare Central. The Fazbears, on the other hand, are off to look for an old friend of Foxy and Golden Freddy. The gang look for Springtrap, who was destroyed by Nightmare Central. They have to retrieve their parts in order to rebuild him. Eventually, they put him back together, and then he tells the Fazbears about his history with Nightmare Central. As the animatronics were having a conversation, the screen begins to shake. An evil group approaches them. That group is none other than Nightmare Central. The members of the team are Clancy, who's a coyote, Clank, who's a cardinal, and Plush Trap. They have mind-controlled the toy animatronics, and the original Fazbears are next. They decide to fight them. Zippy and his friends all show up to assist them. The Fazbears free the toy animatronics from Nightmare Central's control. Clancy and Clank were disappointed in the fact that the toy animatronics were defeated, but they were still determined to kidnap the Fazbears and Zippy's friends. First, Clancy and Clank go for Zippy's friends. Then, they knock out the Fazbears. Springtrap gets away from Nightmare Central and is never seen again. For now, at least. The Fazbears, along with Zippy and company, are in the prisons of Nightmare Central. While Foxy does farm work, he conducts a plan alongside the prisoners to escape during lunchtime, which is 12 o'clock p.m. He also realizes that Zippy's armor can go through the force field that prevents them from escaping. Foxy tells the prisoners their plans. Clancy overhears their plan, so he messes up the clock so that they can't get out. Thankfully, Zippy's armor has a built-in clock, so they were able to escape at 12 o'clock. The prisoners get out of their cells, thanks to Zippy going through the force field. Clancy and Clank are furious, so they attempt to chase him. Zippy and his friends and the Fazbears are in a rush to escape as quickly as possible. They encounter some multi-dimensional elevator. They decide to enter as they believe it's their only way out. Zippy and the Fazbears get out and enter Dimension 56. The world's only colors were yellow and magenta. This dimension had several purposes, including being used to escape prison, or it could even be a prison itself. The place, however, is corrupted and dangerous, as it can mess with your mind, and also, affect your voices.
Well, what? Hey, why do we have weird voices? Come on, guys, we should get out. Oh no, it's bad. Come on, get out. Let's get out.
Thankfully, Zippy and the Fazbears got out. For a moment, the gang settled down in the woods. Eventually, Nightmare Central discovered Zippy and the Fazbears after putting a tracking device on them. For the first time ever, they encounter the leader of Nightmare Central. That is none other than Nightmare himself. The whole team decides to fight against him. Zippy and the Fazbears all agree that they need to work as a team. They all gang up on Nightmare, thankfully defeating them. The fight wasn't over yet, as Plush Trap was still standing. He gave himself powers while everyone was fighting Nightmare. Plush Trap seemed difficult to defeat. Freddy was determined to fight him. By God's miracle, he was granted powers. Freddy and Plush Trap have a huge brawl. Freddy uses all his power to defeat Plush Trap.
I am Freddy! I am Freddy! No, no, no! 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 I may return.
Zippy and the Fazbears win, and Plush Trap is no more. Clancy and Clink run off after their defeat. Everyone is happy that Nightmare Central has been defeated, but we're concerned about Springtrap's whereabouts. And that's the end of Season 1. In case you couldn't tell, yeah, I was like a kid when I made this series. I was 11 years old when this first season was made. This first season has a whole lot of nonsense. Before we move on to Season 2, I'd like to let you guys know that my FNaF series is connected to Comic Chris FNaF series. We basically have our characters cross over with each other. Yeah, Zippy just found a rift, and it took him to the Comic Chris universe. Season 2 kicks off with the animatronics just chilling and goofing around the pizzeria.
Golden Freddy! Golden Freddy? Where did he go? Oh my goodness, I gotta tell everyone. I gotta tell the others that Golden Freddy's gone.
One day, Golden Freddy disappeared, making the group worried. Eventually, Phantom Foxy and Nightmare Bonnie let Freddy know that he was kidnapped. Freddy was far away and couldn't be found. While the animatronics were asleep, 3 random dudes snuck into the pizzeria and swapped their bodies from action figures to plushies, which is how FNaF Toys becomes FNaF Plush. They also erased their memories in the process so the Fazbears wouldn't notice. Golden Freddy eventually returns and lets Freddy know that he was in some kind of pocket dimension from Nightmare Central. He gave him back some of his memories. In the meantime, the Fazbears were reuniting with different animatronic groups, including the Toys, Phantoms, and Nightmares, as their bodies all got swapped. Springtrap comes back, however, the group doesn't really remember him. The animatronics were taken out of the pizzeria and are now living in a house. Almost a month has passed, and Freddy's gang is tired of the house.
Guys, I heard someone talking, and I found a secret way out.
Bonnie hears talking in the vents. The Fazbears decide to check out where the sound was coming from. Apparently, their home was under Circus Baby's Pizza World, where they met the sister location animatronics. Freddy was wondering how they could get back to their pizzeria. Circus Baby guides Freddy, only to find out that the sister location animatronics want to destroy them with the scoop. The animatronics learn their plan, so they run off. However, they left Freddy behind. Golden Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy realized how much danger he's in, so they called their other animatronic friends, along with Zippy and Compriac. Compriac is Comic Cur, by the way. He's also a polar bear. Yeah, his OC changed a lot like mine. Comic Cur decided to change his OC's name to Compriac.
Orange, I have a confession to make. My name's not actually Comic Pear. Okay, so what's your real name? It's Compriac. That's a stupid name. What did you just say?
Anyways, after recruiting their friends, the team takes on Bonnet, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy. Ballora begs for mercy and realizes her mistakes. Freddy and Baby were about to fight each other, but then realize that fighting each other isn't the right solution. The sister location animatronics learn from their mistakes and befriend the Fazbears, except Ennard. Baby knocks out Ennard and switches his voice box to put him on his good side. After that, all the animatronics are on good terms with each other, minus the fact that the Fazbears live in a house. End of Season 2. Season 3 begins, and the animatronics are vibing. It's 2018, and Clancy and Clink are hidden from the world. They are struggling to beat villains on their own as Nightmare and Plush Trap are out of the picture. All of a sudden, 3 villains from 2 different universes show up. Deathmaster from the Comic Cur universe, and Shadowtron and TF from the Mr. Can Do Gaming 101 universe. They all decide to form an alliance and take on Zippy. However, Zippy takes them on and beats them in a fight. Twisted Bonnie from Super Yoshi's universe was invited to the alliance, as Clancy has been observing his monsters. They all team up to create the Twisted Ones. One day, a monster from the Comic Cur universe, Fractal, visit Zippy's world to offer Clancy assistance to take over the Mobsters multiverse, or the Cool Squad multiverse. Basically, my FNaF Plush videos and Conker's FNaF Plush videos all share a multiverse with our friends. We used to have this group called the Cool Squad, and they changed the Mobsters. Yeah, we all have this shared multiverse joint where characters can cross over with each other. Anyways, back to the story. Clancy was busy with his alliance of multiversal villains, but he decides to send the Twisted Ones over through Dimension 56 to keep a low profile. The Twisted Ones eventually make it to the comic book universe. They have been causing havoc in Compriac's world. They've also been fighting the Echo animatronics. Meanwhile, Zippy wakes up in some random place as he was kind of kidnapped by a giant old fox, King Chrome. King Chrome was a scientist, but also a guy who stole stuff. They discuss all the issues with Clancy's multiversal team, and also the Twisted Ones in the comic book universe. Zippy is given a switch-looking device that can send people back to their universe. Zippy is then sent to the comic book universe, and travels there for months. However, by the time he encounters Compriac, it's already been too late as the Twisted Ones have already returned to Dimension 56 as they got defeated by the Echo animatronics. Clancy and Fractal would take a bit of a break for a while, but they would come back to sending the Twisted Ones to the comic book universe. 2019, a new pizzeria opens up with the new animatronics, such as the Rockstar animatronics and the Mediocre Melodies. A gray bear, Lefty, needs to be protected. The Rockstars and the Mediocre Melodies are a bit curious. They feel suspicious. Lefty has been targeted by a certain evil group. They eventually show up to the new pizzeria, and it's revealed to be none other than the Twisted Ones. The Rockstars, along with the Mediocre Melodies, decide to defend Lefty by fighting off the Twisted animatronics. Lefty defeats the Twisted animatronics, so the group goes back to Clancy. After failing to capture Lefty, Clancy has a new plan. Clancy would renegotiate with Fractal at a second attempt in taking over the whole Monsters multiverse, including Zippy's world. Fractal agrees. The Twisted Ones return to Comic Pair World, so Zippy has to make sure Compriac, Orange, Helpriac, and his other friends are safe. A full-on apocalypse is occurring, as different characters from the Monsters multiverse show up in the Comic Pair World. They are all going up against Fractal. All of Compriac's recruits die fighting Fractal's team, such as Ink Bendy T-posing on everyone. Redstone survives, and she resets the Comic Pair universe, defeating Fractal and bringing everyone back to life, leading to a reboot. Clancy's multiversal team, including Super Yoshi's Twisted Bonnie, TF, Shadowtron, and Deathmaster, all disbanded after the defeat of Fractal and the fact that the team was making no progress. They all got bored and thought that Clancy was a waste of time. Clancy still had Clink and the Twisted Ones. After all the wars and chaos, Zippy, the Fazbears, and all of their friends decided to chill for the rest of the time.